Hey gang, cross-country season's here, right? It's one of my favorite times of year as a former competitive runner and a coach. I love the season. I love the team aspect, and I just love the competitive spirit that cross-country brings. Now, after a tough summer of just hot weather training, and it's always nice when the weather starts to cool off in a little bit, like it's going to start doing, at least for us. I'm on the East Coast, and so it'll eventually start cooling off in September and into October and into November, so taking advantage of it, that's a good thing. So, but keep in mind a few things. I think it's important to maintain some perspective and be mindful of what you do early in the season. What do I mean by that? Well, the hot weather's still here for the most part, okay? So hydration is still of a massive importance, okay? It's always of importance all year, but particularly in the hot weather. And so continually hydrating and whatnot, and setting up your training if you can. If you have the ability to plan your races ahead of time, it's a good idea to do that and then kind of build the training around it. Now, I understand in some situations where you might have to race people twice a week because of league and the district and blah, 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 or have to be, participate in these particular races one. And if you have enough depth on the team, then what I like to do is I won't race everybody twice a week. You'll race certain people once a week and the other folks once a week, and that way you're still accommodating the race schedule and the requirements, but you're not overusing people, okay? So, I understand. I also understand there's situations where sometimes kids have to race themselves into shape because of a insufficient summer base training period. You have to be careful there too, okay? Be careful with over-racing and overtraining at the same time. You want to keep kids healthy, right? High school, college, doesn't matter. So, but that's why I say planning out your schedule ahead of time. And if you've developed enough fitness over the summer, then it makes it easier to kind of plan out your cross country. It makes it easier to make adjustments because the fitness is already there. Okay. I also like to test my athletes, test their fitness when they come in, or the pre-season or whatever it is, the last week before the season starts. I like to test them. And my high school runners at a mile, the collegiate level runners, I like to test them at 2 miles or 3K to see where their actual fitness is, because that allows me to kind of set the training paces for everything. And again, with modifications, of course, because cross-country races are not always flat, but it still allows you to set up paces for tempo runs and things like that, which complement cross-country racing, cross-country training, different types of workouts and whatnot. So, all important pieces of the puzzle, right? And if I could point out a few things too, September, the first month, let's just do September, October, November, okay? Just hypothetically. The first month I like to generally do over-distance stuff, where it's a little bit more than the race distance. Some of it at a slower volume, a slower pace, some of them at a race pace or whatever it is. Whether it be threshold and some work or transitioning into certain stuff as well. But it's generally over-distance, at least one workout a week, not necessarily every workout or twice a week. So, and then I start to transition into the second cycle, October, where it's threshold/tempo into race pace. And then I generally don't exceed the distance on a very rare occasion. But now they're getting into a little bit more of aggressive racing, right? And they need to know what it feels like to go out hard, to finish hard, to accelerate in the middle of a race. So incorporating workouts that are accordingly incorporating the workouts and doing it in a way where it simulates what they need is a good thing that month. And then obviously the last month, getting them into the race mode, sharpening them up as well as you possibly can, and putting them in a position to race their best when it counts the most. And by doing it this way, you're allowing an adaptation phase, okay, of each time. So the kids are getting adapted to a certain block of training, and then they modify into something else, So it prevents them from being stale at the end of the season. It also gets them ready for the more aggressive races that come. As you know, especially if you're running the same course multiple times, right? You'll need to know what it feels like to go out hard or finish hard or run a certain place hard so you can design your workouts accordingly. So take a look at my training programs. I'll put them down below for you in the description. I've got fully detailed cross-country programs for high school and college, just so you can see how I kind of lay out the training, okay? And there's a method to the madness. And if you have any questions about them, email me directly, blackbeltrunningcoach@gmail.com. I'm happy to answer questions, okay? Or put a comment, put your feedback in the comment. I like to respond to comments as well. Email is the easiest way to reach me, especially if you have info that you want to share with me so I can read it and then kind of give you as much insight as I possibly can. So I'm happy to do it, but I wanted to give you some tidbits about cross-country because I've seen where it can, set people back and can really propel people forward. and I want you to be propelling forward. So I want you to be ready to do that and be able to take advantage of opportunities that present themselves. So, and again, as a coach, you're always having to make adjustments. So, and I'm sure that you know that. But hope you find this insight helpful. Please hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe to this channel. If you're just a coach or an athlete and you want a lot of good insight and running content, I've got 350 videos of training for you. Specific meat and potato stuff, real stuff that I've done with athletes, beginner all the way up to the elite, okay, with success. So, and I want you to be able to take advantage of them. And again, if you have questions, you let me know and we can talk about it. So again, Black Belt Running Coach is my email, okay? And again, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet. And if you do, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss videos. But let me know in the comments if you subscribe, because I like to personally thank you, okay? I'm on the road to 2,500 subscribers. I like to try to get there by the end of the year if I can, so your help is greatly appreciated. So, but I also want to help as many people in the running community as I possibly can. So have a great week, everybody, and I'll talk to you next time.